Alexander Zell, you're one of AFD's leading candidates for the European elections this summer. What's your motivation for this? What's your goal?
First of all, I believe in the European cooperation. Our parties, our allies, they are the strongest party in France, they are the strongest party in Belgium, they are the strongest party in Austria. Even now, I just saw the recent polls from the Netherlands, the PVV in the Netherlands, they are polling at 49%, almost absolute majority. So the AFD is part of a European movement or even an international movement. People are fed up with the migration policy. People are fed up with the destruction of our industry through climate policy. And people are fed up also with gender and wokeness. So that's why our parties are strong in all other European countries, and we want to work together with these parties, and we want to defend our common European values and our cultures and civilizations.
Do you think there is a chance to reform the EU from within, or do you think that we need to leave the Union?
There was quite a controversial debate in our party going on in our last conference. And it was about whether we should exit the European Union as Germans or whether we should reform it from within. We decided we should stay in the European Union because we have to prevent, as Germans, we are in the center of Europe, we have to prevent being isolated in Europe. Now we have to work together with our allies, and we have strong allies in other European countries. So we believe that we can reform the EU from within, and if not so, then we want to re-establish or found the European Union as a confederation of nation states. We don't want to get out of the European Union, but we are convinced that it's not working as it is now.
And who are your allies?
It's the Rassemblement in France, Rassemblement National, Le Pen. It's the Vlaams Belang in Belgium, and it's the FPÖ in Austria, the Lega in Italy. If you're looking at the news these days in Germany, you won't hear anything about the situation in other European countries. The polls are against the interests of the German elites. You see in all European countries, you see right-wing parties ahead of the polls. And so all the so-called pro-Europeans in Germany, they don't want you to know about what's going on in other European countries. It's our mission to inform the Germans that the AfD in Germany is no exception, but we are the norm. The exception in Europe is the Green Party. If you look at the Green Party in the European Parliament, it's all Germans, and all other European countries, the French, the Italians, the Spanish, they don't follow these ridiculous policies which have led to the destruction of our German industrial competitiveness, and we are in danger of losing our technological edge, and also in the end we're losing our economic foundation.
The left liberal establishment within the European Union, they often say that migration is the solution to the population decline in Europe. What do you have to say about that?
Well, you just have to look at the facts to know that that's not the case. At the moment I'm working in the State Assembly of Berlin, and we just found out the amount of money that the state of Berlin has paid for unaccompanied minors. So they are supposedly, we also know that most of them are not under the age of 18, but supposedly they are under the age of 18. They need extra supervision, and the amount of money that just the state of Berlin paid is 700 million euros since 2015. There's an asylum center in the former airport of Tegel, and it costs 1.2 million euros per day to finance it. So that's 365 or 300, almost 400 million euros a year just for the asylum center in Tegel. The amount of money that Germany is paying for migration
They say that this is an investment for the future.
When we had the migration crisis of 2015, the news was full of the headlines, we are receiving skilled laborers, Fachkräfte. Skilled laborers are migrating in masses to Germany, And now we are looking at this, it has been 9 years since the migration crisis of 2015, and still about 70% of Syrian refugees or Syrian migrants are still unemployed. They are living off of unemployment benefits. So even almost 10 years after they came to Germany, they are still not skilled enough to enter the workforce. This is a big lie that the migration is in our interest. It's costing Germany billions of euros. Just another number, the so-called Bürgergeld, citizen funds, that's the unemployment benefit. We are paying this year 44 billion euros for unemployment benefit in Germany. Half of that money goes to foreigners, not Germans with a migration background, but foreigners. So half of that money, that's 22 billion euros. The German taxpayer is paying 22 billion euros for unemployment benefits to foreigners. Basically, that's how you can see the migration as it is now is not in our interest.
There are a lot of discussions right now about the war in Ukraine and also how the European Union should look at the both superpowers, China and the US. Should both be treated equally, or do you think that they should be treated in a different way?
Well, in my opinion, no. We shouldn't condemn the United States or China if they follow national interests. The only one who is to blame if we are not following national interests is our own government. We have to blame the German government for not following German interests. The establishment or the development of a multipolar system, the end of the unipolar moment of the United States, is giving us the question which position is the right position for Europe. And I think the right position for Europe is not to align itself with the United States or align itself with China, but first and foremost, we need to defend European interests. And I followed very closely the remarks of Macron, the French president, when he came back from China, and he was giving an interview to Politico on the plane, and he was saying Europe needs strategic autonomy. And he was very heavily criticized by the German establishment for this comment, but I agree with him. We need to act as Europeans. Also, in my opinion, one of the most important arguments in favor of the European Union, or in favor of European cooperation, Europe needs to defend its strategic interest independently from the United States and from China. Well, first of all, we need to close the borders. Just last year, Germany received almost 500,000 migrants, like 490 something. That's an entire city like Frankfurt. That's impossible to integrate or something, or to even give them housing to this huge number of people coming in. So first of all, we need to close the borders. Second, we need to stop giving them unemployment benefits. And third, we need to deport or expulse those who have no right to be here. If the war in Afghanistan or if the war in Syria is over, then these people who enjoyed temporary asylum, they have to go back to their own countries, because it's not our obligation to have them here when they can perfectly live at home in their own place. So those are the main issues we have to confront now: closing the borders, deporting those who are illegally in Europe, and defend our European interests independently from China and the US.
You're talking about remigration. Who exactly needs to be deported according to the AfD?
Well, it's according to the law. Those who are illegally in our country, they should leave the country again. That's much more than the current German government is doing. They are deporting around 15,000 people per year, but we are accepting almost 500,000 people per year. So that's in no relation. So we have to really deport everybody who is illegally in our country and has no right to asylum.
Some people have become citizens for the wrong reasons.
Well, also, if they lied when they were given German citizenship and they have a dual citizenship. Also, if somebody becomes a criminal and has a dual citizenship, it should be also possible to deny him the German citizenship and also to deport him.